Aging is a journey that rewrites the rules of wellness. What once gave us energy may now leave us sluggish. What once felt healthy may now burden our systems. And perhaps the most unexpected shift? The foods we thought were always good for us, like vegetables, can sometimes turn against us. For older adults navigating the complexity of blood pressure meds, slower digestion, and fragile bones, certain vegetables may not support health the way we expect. In this video, we're diving into the surprising truth about vegetables that could silently work against you as you age. We're not here to villainize an entire food group, but rather to highlight why some vegetables need a second look, while others deserve the spotlight on your plate. Let's start with an essential truth. The body in its 60s, 70s, or even 80s doesn't process foods the same way it did in our 20s. Metabolism slows, sensitivities rise, and the margin for nutritional error shrinks. That's why this guide exists, not to restrict, but to empower. To help you avoid certain vegetables that trigger inflammation, digestive discomfort, or interfere with medications, and replace them with smart, age-defying choices that energize and protect. We'll reveal 4 vegetables older adults should avoid, or at least limit, and the science behind their hidden effects. Then, we'll explore 4 powerhouse vegetables that support circulation, bone strength, gut health, and even mood stability. This isn't a scare tactic. It's science meets practicality. The goal is not perfection, but progress. So, if you or someone you love is navigating life post-60 and wants to age with strength, energy, and clarity, this is for you. Let's begin with a surprising one. Harmful veggie number 1, baby carrots. They may look innocent, crunchy, and kid-approved, but baby carrots have a not-so-sweet side that many older adults overlook. First, most baby carrots are soaked in a chlorine solution to preserve freshness and extend shelf life. While this may seem harmless, consistent exposure to trace chemicals can impact gut flora over time, especially in seniors with already delicate digestion. Secondly, baby carrots are stripped of their protective outer layer during processing, which reduces fiber and micronutrient content. This means they have a slightly higher glycemic response than raw whole carrots, a concern for seniors managing insulin resistance or prediabetes. Take, for example, Harold Monroe, a 69-year-old retired city planner from Asheville, North Carolina. For years, Harold snacked on baby carrots daily, assuming they were a guilt-free way to satisfy his cravings. But over time, he noticed increased bloating, irregular digestion, and unexpected energy crashes in the afternoon. After working with a dietitian, Harold replaced baby carrots with sliced jicama and bell pepper strips, vegetables higher in natural fiber and lower in glycemic impact. Within 2 weeks, his digestion stabilized and his afternoon fatigue vanished. So what's the takeaway? Baby carrots aren't evil, but for older adults, whole, unprocessed alternatives are often a better option. Wash, peel, and slice your own carrots, or explore other crunchy veggies that haven't been chemically bathed. Harmful veggie number 2, pickled vegetables, like pickled okra or beets. Pickling adds tang and character, but it often adds something else: sodium and sugar in dangerously high amounts. Pickled vegetables can cause spikes in blood pressure, water retention, and discomfort in seniors already managing cardiovascular or kidney concerns. The acid and salt content may also irritate sensitive stomach linings and increase the risk of acid reflux. Many older adults eat pickled veggies believing they're fermented and gut healthy, but most are not naturally fermented. They're just soaked in brine and preservatives. Let's look at June Baylor, a 74-year-old former high school counselor in St. Paul, Minnesota. June adored pickled okra and included it in her lunch every day, but her hands and ankles began swelling more frequently, and her blood pressure readings started to fluctuate despite medication. Her physician reviewed her meals and immediately spotted the pickled culprit. Within 3 weeks of eliminating them, her swelling subsided and her BP readings normalized. If you love the tang of pickled veggies, opt for low-sodium, truly fermented alternatives like kimchi or unsweetened sauerkraut, but enjoy them sparingly and always check the label. It may come as a surprise, but celery, often viewed as a staple of low-calorie diets, can have unintended side effects for seniors when consumed in large amounts. While celery does contain beneficial antioxidants and is low in calories, it's also one of the most pesticide-contaminated vegetables on the market. According to various food safety reports, celery regularly appears in the Dirty Dozen list due to heavy pesticide residues, which can disrupt hormonal function, impair liver detoxification, and burden the kidneys, especially in seniors with reduced metabolic resilience. Additionally, celery is a natural diuretic. While that may sound beneficial for reducing water retention, it can backfire when consumed frequently, leading to electrolyte imbalances, dehydration, and even dizziness or muscle cramps. This is especially concerning for older adults taking blood pressure or heart medications, which can amplify these effects. The body of a senior doesn't handle fluid shifts the same way it once did. Minor imbalances can lead to major symptoms. Consider Doris Rayburn, a 78-year-old ceramic artist from Santa Fe, New Mexico. She began juicing celery every morning after watching a trending online health challenge. Within weeks, she started experiencing lightheadedness, dry mouth, and mild heart palpitations. Blood tests revealed she had low potassium levels and early signs of dehydration. Her doctor advised her to switch to a balanced veggie juice that included cucumber, spinach, cooked, and a splash of lemon. Within days, her energy returned and her symptoms resolved. Celery can be part of a healthy lifestyle, but moderation in sourcing organic is key, especially in senior diets. Harmful veggie number 4, sprouts, alfalfa, mung bean, etc. Sprouts are often marketed as a health-conscious topping for salads and sandwiches, praised for their crunchy texture and concentration of nutrients. But they come with a hidden danger: bacterial contamination. Sprouts grow in warm, moist conditions, which are perfect not just for the sprouts themselves, but for bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella. For younger people with strong immune systems, the occasional contaminated sprout may cause mild illness. But for seniors, the risk is far greater. Foodborne illness in older adults can lead to hospitalization or worse. What makes it worse is that sprouts are usually eaten raw, and rinsing them doesn't guarantee the removal of harmful pathogens. Seniors with weaker immune defenses or those undergoing treatments that suppress immunity should avoid sprouts entirely or ensure they're thoroughly cooked before eating. Just ask Carl Donnery, an 81-year-old retired postal worker from Columbus, Ohio. Carl fell seriously ill after consuming a salad with raw bean sprouts at a neighborhood deli. What started as stomach cramps quickly escalated into a multi-day hospital stay with severe dehydration and infection. His doctor strongly advised removing all raw sprouts from his diet going forward, and Carl now sticks to cooked greens and thoroughly washed vegetables. While sprouts can be nutritious, they carry too much risk for vulnerable populations. When in doubt, skip the raw and stick to what's safe. Now that we've explored the 4 vegetables that can be harmful for seniors, some more obviously than others, it's time to shift gears and celebrate the vegetables that truly nourish and strengthen aging bodies. These next 4 aren't just good for you. They're uniquely powerful in supporting the systems that matter most as we age: circulation, digestion, cognition, and bone integrity. Before we reveal them, let's pause for a moment. If you're finding value in this information, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, we break down complex health topics into practical steps for vibrant aging, and we'd love your support on this journey. And tell us in the comments, which vegetable surprised you the most so far? Was there one you eat regularly without realizing it might not be ideal? Or have you already swapped a veggie and noticed a change in your energy or health? Share your experience. We read every story, and your insight may help someone else watching. Let's continue. Beneficial veggie number 1, artichokes. Often overlooked in everyday cooking, artichokes are an unsung hero of senior nutrition. They're rich in prebiotic fiber, particularly inulin, which feeds the healthy bacteria in the gut. And as science increasingly confirms, gut health is directly tied to brain function, immune strength, and even emotional balance. Artichokes also support liver detoxification and bile production, aiding digestion, especially after heavier meals. But what makes artichokes stand out for seniors is their ability to help regulate cholesterol levels, improve regularity, and reduce oxidative stress across the body. One powerful case comes from Nancy Elridge, a 72-year-old landscape designer in Burlington, Vermont. After dealing with frequent indigestion and foggy thinking, Nancy consulted a nutritionist who suggested incorporating steamed artichokes twice a week. She also added a drizzle of olive oil and lemon to enhance nutrient absorption. After a few months, Nancy reported feeling mentally sharper, more regular, and no longer needed her antacids after dinner. Her blood work even showed improvements in liver enzyme function. It was a gentle but powerful change, and one that didn't require drastic dieting. Artichokes can be boiled, steamed, roasted, or marinated, but always opt for low-sodium versions if choosing canned. Paired with healthy fats, they become even more bioavailable. And the best part? They taste like a treat. While green cabbage often gets the attention in classic recipes, red cabbage quietly steals the nutritional spotlight, especially for older adults. Rich in anthocyanins, the same antioxidant compounds found in blueberries and red grapes, red cabbage is a natural anti-inflammatory food. These antioxidants protect aging cells from oxidative stress, particularly in the brain and blood vessels. For seniors concerned with memory loss, cardiovascular decline, or even visual health, this vibrant vegetable is a powerful ally. Red cabbage also supports gut health through both fiber and its natural fermentation potential. When fermented into sauerkraut, with no added sugar or vinegar, it produces natural probiotics that help replenish good bacteria in the digestive system, vital for older adults struggling with irregularity or antibiotic recovery. But even raw or cooked, red cabbage offers a solid punch of vitamins C and K, as well as manganese and fiber. Take the example of Rena Solberg, a 70-year-old retired piano tuner from Portland, Oregon. Rena had always eaten salads with lettuce or spinach, but rarely touched cabbage. After joining a local cooking class focused on brain-healthy foods, she was introduced to roasted red cabbage wedges brushed with olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Intrigued, she started adding them to her weekly meal plan. Within weeks, she noticed improved digestion, reduced bloating, and a more stable mood in the afternoons. More than that, she felt a renewed interest in cooking with color and variety. Red cabbage is easy to store, affordable, and incredibly versatile. Shred it into slaws, roast it, or steam it as a side. It offers consistent benefits to heart, brain, and gut without triggering common sensitivities. Beneficial veggie. 3. Sweet potatoes, especially purple varieties. Often dismissed as just a starch, sweet potatoes are in fact a powerhouse food for senior wellness, especially when we step beyond the traditional orange variety. Purple sweet potatoes, in particular, are rich in anthocyanins and resistant starches, which support blood sugar balance, cognitive protection, and digestive regularity. Unlike regular white potatoes, sweet potatoes have a lower glycemic load and are naturally packed with beta-carotene, potassium, and B vitamins, making them a superb food for seniors managing blood pressure or early signs of memory decline. Resistant starch found in sweet potatoes helps fuel gut microbiota while also improving insulin sensitivity, a win-win for seniors at risk of metabolic issues. And for those struggling with leg cramps or high blood pressure, the potassium content supports better muscle function and vascular stability without adding sodium. Consider the journey of Micah Rowe, a 76-year-old former swimming instructor from Sarasota, Florida. Micah had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes a few years ago and was struggling to control his post-meal blood sugar levels. A dietitian suggested replacing white rice and bread with purple sweet potatoes 3 times per week. Micah began roasting them with cinnamon and olive oil, sometimes even mashing them as a base for veggie bowls. Within 2 months, his glucose readings stabilized, and he reported having more energy during his morning walks. His doctor even reduced one of his medications. Sweet potatoes, especially the deeper-colored varieties, are a comforting and delicious way to support aging gracefully. They're proof that eating well doesn't have to mean giving up flavor or satisfaction. Now, before we move into the final super vegetable in our lineup, let's pause once again to connect with you. Are you enjoying this journey through smarter eating? If yes, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep this community growing, informed, and empowered. And now we'd love to hear from you. What's one vegetable you eat now that you didn't enjoy in your younger years? Taste buds change, and so do health needs. Your answer might inspire someone else to give a forgotten veggie a second chance. If you've made it this far, you're clearly someone who takes their health seriously, and that's something worth celebrating. Let's now reveal the last super vegetable on our list, one that works quietly behind the scenes but delivers big results over time. Beneficial veggie number 4, fennel. Often used for flavoring or as a garnish, fennel is one of the most underappreciated vegetables for aging adults. It's packed with anethole, a unique compound that helps reduce inflammation, ease digestion, and regulate hormones, especially in postmenopausal women. Fennel is also rich in potassium, fiber, and vitamin C, all of which play a role in protecting heart health and immune function. Where fennel really shines is in its support for the digestive system. For seniors dealing with bloating, mild constipation, or sluggish digestion, fennel acts as a natural soother. It relaxes the muscles of the gastrointestinal tract, reducing cramps and supporting smoother digestion. It's also known for its mild diuretic effect, helping relieve water retention gently. Take Lyle Armitage, a 79-year-old amateur sculptor from Sedona, Arizona. Lyle often complained of post-meal bloating and acid discomfort, especially in the evenings. After attending a senior nutrition seminar at his community center, he was encouraged to incorporate more fennel, both raw and cooked, into his meals. He started by slicing it thinly into his salads and roasting it with carrots for dinner. Within a few weeks, the bloating eased, and he no longer relied on over-the-counter antacids. To his surprise, he also noticed a decrease in nighttime restlessness. Fennel brings a light licorice flavor to dishes and pairs beautifully with citrus, leafy greens, or roasted vegetables. It's a gentle, nourishing food that offers tangible results for common senior complaints. When we talk about healthy aging, it's easy to assume that the key lies in supplements, medical treatments, or complicated routines. But the reality is often simpler and far more accessible. As we've seen, vegetables play a quiet but powerful role in how we feel, heal, and function as we get older. Choosing the right ones isn't just about adding years to your life, it's about adding quality to those years. Clearer thinking, smoother digestion, steadier energy, and stronger bones all begin with what ends up on your plate. So, how do we take these insights and bring them into real, sustainable change? The key is to build a habit of substitution, not restriction. You don't need to overhaul your entire pantry or adopt a rigid new diet. Instead, look at your weekly meals and find small swaps that bring big returns. If you've been using baby carrots for snacks, try cucumber slices or colorful bell peppers instead. Love potato salad? Try roasted sweet potatoes with fresh herbs. Missing your pickled treats? Experiment with homemade fermented veggies with minimal salt and no added sugars. This process isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. When you know what your body needs and what to avoid, your meals become tools for vitality rather than sources of inflammation or imbalance. And once these new vegetables start becoming staples in your kitchen, your body will respond with better sleep, improved mood, fewer aches, and that steady clarity that many seniors crave but struggle to reclaim. Of course, food is deeply personal. We all have comfort dishes and childhood favorites that feel hard to let go of, and that's okay. No one's asking you to abandon your favorite meals, only to reimagine them in ways that support your health today. That creamy soup you love? Add a handful of cooked red cabbage or fennel for a twist. Your go-to rice bowl? Swap out the white rice for roasted beets or mashed purple sweet potato. Small changes, repeated consistently, lead to big transformation. Let's also talk about timing and how it interacts with digestion as we age. Many older adults experience sluggish motility or feel overly full after eating, especially in the evening. Choosing vegetables that are easier to digest, like lightly cooked bok choy, mashed sweet potato, or roasted fennel, can help your body wind down rather than work overtime during the night. Eating raw, cold salads at dinner may work for younger bodies, but for seniors, warm and well-cooked vegetables are often better tolerated and more nourishing. And here's something we rarely hear enough. Your gut is not just your digestive system, it's your second brain. When the gut microbiome is healthy, Everything from memory to immunity improves. That's why artichokes, red cabbage, and green peas are such strong choices. Their fibers and compounds feed the beneficial bacteria that influence inflammation, cognition, and even mood. This isn't just nutritional theory. It's real, biological feedback that your body responds to every single day. Take, for instance, the experience of Malcolm Yue, an 84-year-old retired instrument maker in Santa Barbara, California. Malcolm had been experiencing frequent forgetfulness, trouble sleeping, and mild depressive episodes. While he assumed it was simply part of aging, a nutritionist suggested evaluating his fiber intake and gut health. Malcolm began incorporating cooked artichokes, fermented red cabbage, and green peas into his diet 3 to 4 times per week. Within 2 months, his sleep improved dramatically. He felt mentally sharper and found joy again in reading technical manuals and journaling, activities he had nearly abandoned. The only change? His vegetable routine. These stories aren't isolated. They're reminders that aging doesn't have to be a slow decline. With the right vegetables, your 60s, 70s, and even 80s can be filled with renewed clarity, energy, and balance. Before we continue, let's take a moment to reflect and reconnect. Leave us a comment. What small change are you inspired to make after watching this video so far? Whether it's trying fennel for the first time or skipping raw spinach in your smoothies, we'd love to hear what resonated with you most. And if this content is speaking to you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community of wise, health-conscious adults who believe that aging can be strong, intentional, and vibrant. Now that we've covered which vegetables to include and which to avoid, you might be wondering, how do I build meals around this? What does a typical day of smart eating look like for an older adult who wants energy without inflammation? That's exactly what we'll explore in the next block. We'll walk through practical meal ideas, morning to night, that incorporate the right vegetables in ways that are delicious, easy to prepare, and tailored for aging bodies. Let's bring all this knowledge to the table, literally. Knowing which vegetables support your health is one thing, but turning that into meals you actually enjoy is what makes the difference between temporary effort and lasting transformation. So, what does a day of eating look like when you're focused on senior-friendly, nutrient-dense vegetables? The answer is comforting, satisfying, and surprisingly simple. Let's start with breakfast, a meal that sets the tone for the entire day. Many older adults rely on toast, cereal, or fruit-heavy smoothies. But those options, while convenient, can lead to quick blood sugar spikes followed by mid-morning crashes. Instead, imagine a savory breakfast bowl that's both warm and supportive of digestive health. A base of mashed purple sweet potato, lightly seasoned with turmeric and black pepper, topped with a poached egg, and sautéed bok choy in olive oil. This combination supports circulation, balances blood sugar, and kickstarts metabolism gently, avoiding digestive overload. If you prefer something lighter in the morning, try a beet and fennel smoothie. Cooked beets blended with a touch of orange, steamed fennel, ginger, and flax seeds create a surprisingly delicious drink that promotes blood flow and gut health. It may sound unconventional, but many seniors who adopt this kind of blend report fewer dizzy spells, steadier energy, and even better mental clarity within hours of starting their day this way. Now let's move into lunch, the heart of your day. This is a perfect time to embrace color, texture, and flavor using the vegetables we've explored. One fantastic option is a roasted red cabbage and green pea bowl. Start with a base of cooked quinoa or barley, top it with shredded roasted red cabbage, green peas tossed in lemon and garlic, and a small handful of walnuts. Add a drizzle of tahini or homemade yogurt sauce for creaminess. This dish delivers fiber, protein, and anti-inflammatory compounds while being easy to chew and digest, something essential for many older adults who experience dental or digestive sensitivity. Another simple but powerful lunch idea: a warm salad made from steamed artichoke hearts, sautéed bok choy, and roasted carrots, tossed with a splash of balsamic vinegar and olive oil. It's quick, filling, and designed to reduce post-meal fatigue. Seniors who replace their heavy, carb-laden lunches with this kind of vegetable-centered plate often notice improved afternoon focus and less joint stiffness. As the day moves toward evening, dinner becomes an opportunity to wind down your digestion, not challenge it. This means choosing vegetables that are gentle, hydrating, and rich in minerals that support relaxation and overnight recovery. One excellent option is a fennel and sweet potato stew, simmered with lentils, turmeric, and a pinch of sea salt. This one-pot meal supports gut health, lowers inflammation, and provides magnesium and potassium to support restful sleep. Pair that with a side of roasted beets with lemon zest and herbs, and you have a nutrient-rich dinner that feels indulgent yet supports every system in the aging body, from heart to brain to bones. But let's be real. Not every day allows for elaborate cooking, especially for seniors living alone or with limited mobility. That's why it's vital to have backup options that are just as beneficial. Keep frozen peas, pre-cooked beets, and bagged shredded cabbage on hand. These can quickly become the base of a meal with minimal prep. Even a simple plate of scrambled eggs with sautéed cabbage and peas can do wonders compared to highly processed frozen dinners or salty takeout. And don't forget hydration. Many seniors underestimate how much their bodies depend on water-rich foods to stay energized and mobile. Vegetables like fennel, bok choy, and even cooked cabbage have high water content and can subtly contribute to hydration, especially for those who don't like drinking plain water. The goal is not to create perfect meals, but to consistently make better choices throughout the week. The more you lean into these vegetables, the more your body will begin to crave them, because they help you feel better. It's not a diet, it's a recalibration. And the reward? Waking up feeling stronger, lighter, and clearer. Let's revisit one last case to see this all in motion. Maria Desmond, an 82-year-old retired theater costume designer in Austin, Texas, used to rely heavily on canned soup and white toast for her meals. After struggling with fatigue, constipation, and mental fog, she decided to try a 2-week veggie reset. Her daughter helped her prepare meals in advance using beets, bok choy, and sweet potatoes. By the end of the first week, Maria noticed she was sleeping through the night without waking, her digestion had improved, and she found herself more eager to engage in her watercolor painting again. It wasn't magic, it was mineral-rich food doing what it's designed to do: nourish, restore, and renew. Even with the best intentions, it's easy to fall into food traps that look healthy on the surface, but quietly work against your body's needs. For older adults especially, some of the most common health mistakes aren't in the desserts or fried snacks, but in the so-called light or diet foods lining grocery store shelves. Let's explore some of these hidden pitfalls and how they can interfere with the benefits you're trying to build through better vegetable choices. One of the biggest offenders? Low-fat or sugar-free vegetable products. Think of low-fat veggie dips, diet salad dressings, or veggie chips. While marketed as healthier alternatives, these products are often loaded with artificial sweeteners, chemical preservatives, and sodium. Instead of nourishing your body, they may disrupt gut flora, spike inflammation, and make it harder to absorb key minerals from your meals. For seniors with sensitive digestion or immune issues, this is a problem that can quietly build up over time. Take salad dressings, for example. Many older adults eat more greens but drench them in store-bought low-fat dressings full of emulsifiers and corn syrup. This not only cancels out the benefits of the vegetables, it can also cause bloating and blood sugar irregularities. A better option? Olive oil with lemon juice, mustard, or herbs, natural, anti-inflammatory, and supportive of nutrient absorption, especially for fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, and K. Another common misstep is over-reliance on vegetable juices or smoothies, especially the ones sold pre-packaged at the store. While they may seem like a convenient way to get your greens, these beverages often strip away the fiber that's crucial for digestive health. They may also be high in sugars, natural or added, that create glucose spikes and energy crashes. Without fiber to slow absorption, even a green juice can behave more like a soft drink in your bloodstream. Let's consider the experience of Nathan Giro, a 75-year-old former architect from Seattle, Washington. Nathan loved green smoothies and made them every morning: raw spinach, banana, almond milk, and dates. But after several months, he began noticing symptoms of fatigue, bloating, and irregular blood pressure. When he visited a nutritionist, they discovered that not only was his smoothie high in oxalates from raw spinach, but the sugar content was equivalent to a sweetened yogurt drink. They redesigned his routine using cooked kale, fennel, and unsweetened coconut milk, paired with chia seeds and ginger. Within weeks, Nathan felt lighter, more focused, and finally rid of the afternoon crashes. This highlights another crucial point. More isn't always better. Even healthy vegetables can become problematic when eaten in excess or in the wrong form. The human body, especially as it ages, thrives on balance and consistency, not extremes. That's why rotating your vegetables, cooking them properly, and eating them in portions that support digestion is more effective than just chasing superfoods. Also important, beware of pre-cut and pre-washed vegetables that sit in plastic containers for days. While convenient, these veggies often lose their nutrient density quickly and may be treated with anti-browning agents or preservatives. For seniors trying to maximize the benefit of every bite, freshness matters more than ever. Opt for whole vegetables when possible, or buy from a local market where turnover is high. Let's also not forget how medications interact with food. Many older adults take multiple prescriptions, and the absorption or effect of these medications can be influenced by what's on your plate. For example, blood thinners can react to high vitamin K levels, as seen in raw spinach. Diuretics can affect potassium levels, so eating potassium-rich vegetables like sweet potatoes and beets becomes even more essential. That's why it's important not just to know what vegetables you're eating, but how they interact with your unique body. Now, this may sound like a lot to manage, but it's actually about building awareness, not restriction. The moment you start seeing food as information, sending messages to your cells, your joints, your memory, everything begins to shift. You're no longer eating out of habit. You're eating with purpose, and your body notices the difference. To summarize, avoid ultra-processed healthy snacks, limit raw veggie smoothies that are too sweet or oxalate heavy, steer clear of low-fat products filled with chemicals, and respect how medications interact with your food choices. Instead, focus on whole, seasonal vegetables that are either gently cooked or prepared with healthy fats. Simplicity is powerful, especially when guided by intention. And here's something you might not expect. Flavor is your ally. Many seniors fall into the trap of eating plain, bland vegetables out of fear of using salt or seasoning. But herbs, spices, citrus, and even aged vinegar can transform any veggie into something deeply satisfying without the need for extra sodium. Don't be afraid to experiment. A roasted beet with rosemary, a fennel stir-fry with ginger and sesame oil, a cabbage slaw with lime and mint. These flavors not only excite the palate, they stimulate digestion, increase satiety, and make the whole process of eating more joyful. Because ultimately, that's the real goal, to not just live longer, but to enjoy living longer. And that starts with vegetables that support your energy, your clarity, and your joy, without sabotaging your health in ways you never suspected. By now, it's clear that food is far more than fuel. It's memory, comfort, culture, and for many older adults, it's also routine. We often eat the way we've always eaten, even if our body has been quietly asking for something different. And the truth is, changing long-standing food habits can feel deeply personal, even emotional. That's why so many seniors continue eating the same problematic vegetables out of familiarity, convenience, or the belief that, if it was good for me then, it must still be now. But the aging body isn't static. It evolves. And what supported your health at 40 may now need to be adjusted at 70. The gut becomes more sensitive. The metabolism slows. The liver processes toxins less efficiently. Bones become more porous. The brain needs more blood flow and antioxidant support. These are natural changes, not weaknesses. The mistake is ignoring them and assuming that healthy is one size fits all forever. Let's break one of the biggest myths right now. I eat my vegetables, so I'm doing everything right. The truth? Eating vegetables is only powerful when the right ones are chosen, in the right form, and in the right balance. A bowl of raw kale with store-bought dressing and croutons might look healthy, but it may be working against thyroid function, digestion, and medication balance. Meanwhile, a warm bowl of sautéed bok choy with a soft egg and some sesame seeds could do more for your energy and gut in one meal than weeks of superfood smoothies. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing better with less confusion. Food doesn't need to be complicated. It needs to be aligned with the stage of life you're in. And speaking of life stages, let's talk about something most nutrition advice skips over: emotional nourishment. For many older adults, food isn't just about health, it's about connection. A memory of Sunday lunches, the comfort of a familiar casserole, the joy of sharing a warm plate with a loved one. That emotional layer matters. And the goal here isn't to erase those rituals, but to update them in a way that continues to honor your life story while also honoring your health today. Let's revisit one more story that brings this idea to life. Amelia Cardona, an 83-year-old former radio host from El Paso, Texas, had always made eggplant lasagna for her family every Christmas. It was tradition. But over the years, she began noticing that her arthritis worsened every holiday season. She didn't make the connection until her granddaughter, studying nutrition in college, suggested that the nightshades in eggplant might be contributing to inflammation. Amelia was skeptical but open. They worked together to remake the dish using grilled zucchini slices and a homemade lentil tomato sauce. The result? The family still loved the meal, and Amelia didn't wake up stiff and swollen the next morning. Food is memory, but it can also be modernized with love. The joy stays. The discomfort doesn't have to. And that brings us to a powerful truth that often gets lost in health discussions. Aging is not a decline. It's a recalibration. It's a moment to pause, observe, and make new choices with new wisdom. Vegetables aren't just ingredients. They're messages. Some tell your body to heal. Others tell it to inflame. You get to choose which message you send at every meal. And no, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. When you begin to notice how your body responds to a bowl of fennel and peas versus canned corn or raw spinach, you're learning a language of healing. When you feel lighter after a meal, sleep better that night, and wake up with clearer thoughts, that's feedback. Listen to it. Trust it. Follow it. So many older adults believe they're stuck with how they feel, but often they're just stuck in old food patterns that no longer serve them. When you shift what's on your plate, you shift what's possible in your life. More walks, more laughter, more days where you feel like yourself again. That's the beauty of this journey. It's not about restriction. It's about rediscovery. You're not too old to feel strong. You're not too late to feel clear. And you're definitely not done creating a vibrant life, one smart meal at a time. So here we are, at the end of this journey, but in many ways, it's only the beginning, because now you know. You've seen how vegetables, something so familiar, so everyday, can either build up your health or quietly chip away at it. You've learned that canned convenience isn't always kind to your heart. That raw doesn't always mean better. That certain colors on your plate speak the language of healing, while others stir up discomfort, fog, or fatigue. And most importantly, you've seen that small changes lead to powerful results. This isn't about demonizing food. It's about elevating awareness. And when you bring attention to your meals, you bring control back to your life. You stop guessing. You start choosing. And every time you choose well, your body thanks you in ways you can feel. Fewer aches, deeper sleep, better focus, lighter steps. You've met people in this video who weren't nutrition experts, fitness influencers, or chefs. They were just like you, people who cared about their health, felt frustrated by aging, and decided to try something different. And their stories remind us of a truth many forget. It's never too late to change. The body never stops listening. It's just waiting for us to speak its language again. So here's your invitation, not to start a diet, but to start a conversation with yourself. Ask, how do I want to feel when I wake up tomorrow? What would happen if I replaced just one meal this week with something made from beets, peas, fennel, or bok choy? What if I gave my brain the blood flow it needs, my joints the relief they crave, and my heart the peace it deserves? Because here's what we know. Aging isn't about decline. It's about refinement. You've earned the right to feel good in your body. You've lived enough to know what doesn't work. Now is the time to focus on what does. And if you've made it to the end of this video, that tells me something powerful. You care. You're not passive. You're not giving up. You're still curious, still open, still ready to grow. That alone sets you apart. So now I want to invite you into something bigger than just watching a video. Join this community. Hit that subscribe button, not because it helps us, but because it connects you to a movement. A place where age is honored, health is nurtured, and every week brings new knowledge that speaks directly to your stage of life. And now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small change you're going to try this week? Maybe it's giving up raw spinach. Maybe it's roasting red cabbage. Maybe it's telling your doctor about a veggie that's been bothering you. Whatever it is, type it in the comments. Share your story. Not just with me, but with the thousands of people who will read and feel encouraged by what you write. Your journey might be the spark someone else needs to begin theirs. And if this video helped you, even just a little, consider sending it to someone you care about. A parent, a neighbor, a friend who's starting to feel the weight of age but doesn't know where to begin. Because sometimes, a simple change in a vegetable becomes a profound change in a life. Thank you for spending your time here. Thank you for caring enough about your body to learn, reflect, and explore. And thank you for being part of a generation that refuses to fade quietly, but instead chooses to age consciously, powerfully, and with purpose. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, eat well, live strong, and stay curious.